So I'm here to tell you something about circular economy. This project called SCREEN is a European project funded under the Horizon 2020 framework. It's very interesting because it's giving a new perspectives in our region. Which is a particular region. We have Rome, so a lot of tourism, of course, but we have also some industries, but not so many. And we have also beautiful landscape. So we have many different components interacting, and of course a lot of tourism that can be also a problem on the coast, on the sea, but also in the cities. So this circular economy approach is quite promising, and it's also promising for me as an ecologist that the basics of this approach are based on the circularity within the ecosystems, the way in which in ecosystems the resources are recycled. This project is 2 years long. It's more or less at half of its length. It is led from our university for the scientific coordination of the tasks and the topics, but it has 11 European regions as partners. So it's quite a large project involving many different areas in our continent, and this is very important because the project SCREEN wants to create synergies between these different regions, each one with its own hot topics, its peculiarities, and develop some common strategies to develop this circular economy under different economic and environmental conditions. So during this project, the aim is to develop, to focus on specific areas for each region, on focus areas of specialization within each area, and make use of investments mainly from the EU, but also involving private firms to participate and develop synergic investments. So to create circular networks within each region and among regions to improve the economic performance and the environmental performance of each area. So within our region, our university was directly involved in identifying specific areas of specialization, identifying the main fields where to attack and develop the circular economy. And you see these are the main of these areas, and we have, of course, life science areas, aerospace, digital industries, but many great important, you see, it's related on cultural goods and the technologies related to cultural heritage and green economy and agri-food. These are all aspects then which my university has specific expertise. So the first point was to clearly identify the main areas that are those areas that detain the most promising assets in our region to focus on, and start an innovation project. We develop a call at the regional administrative level asking for developing circular economy approaches, and this call at the regional level has a great response from many different areas. As you see here on the right, all those main focus groups that were identified also with the stakeholders. And of course, within all this stuff, the tourism and cultural heritage asset was one of the main. So one nice aspect of the circular approach is also to create these synergies in this project, to put in contact all these different areas and make them develop together, so to become stronger. So of course, the first part of connected to circular economy was, as we have seen in the previous presentation, create the conditions to reduce, reuse, recycle materials within the firms that decided to participate in this project. And of course, this we know creates a lot of richness, more richness, not only at the regional level, for example, for improving the environmental sustainability, so the environmental expenses, the pollution reduction, the health expenses, but also we have seen in improving the performance, the economic performance of many firms that were into this project. For example, we have, especially in the province of Viterbo, where our university is, it's mainly a rural area, and we have not large industry districts. The only very strong district is the one connected to the ceramic industries. It's very good, but it's suffering in the last decades for a kind of economical crisis. Well, our technicians made a work cooperating with these industries in the ceramic district to re-engineer and improve the chain leading to the final products, and improving the energy costs, the carbon emissions, and the reuse of those disposal materials that were lost, not only lost, they were an expense to be disposed. And this led not only to very important environmental effects. Now you see how many liters of water were saved every year, millions of them. Also reduction in CO2 production by improving the production process, but also reusing part of this disposal within, for example, the agricultural sector. These disposals are simply powder, they are not toxic. It's ceramic, it's not toxic disposals. And they were reused, they could be reused, for example, in the agricultural sector. For example, for producing powders that can be applied to, for example, olive trees or chestnut trees to reduce pathogens effects on their life. So there is a kind of creation of a chain that can also be able to reuse part of the disposal from an economical production and reuse them into another field, like the agricultural field, which is very important because our region is mainly rural. Outside Rome, or outside some specific areas that have important industrial districts, most of Lazio region is countryside. And we have very, very important assets like olive oil or wine connected to the well-preserved countryside. And this was very important output of this project, and still under study. How can we improve biotechnologies or simply technologies to improve also the agricultural outputs like olive oils by reusing wastes. So there is a strong, this project on circular economy is pushing very quickly a change in the economy of these regions they have a great rural vocation, but they are also suffering from the industrial point of view. So we are trying to regenerating both the industrial districts and improving the agricultural outputs. Within this project, this screen project, there is also a specific case dedicated to tourism development in this island, that it's Europe. The Reunion Island, it's part of France, it's close to Mauritius Islands and Madagascar. And they were also a good part, 8% of their GDP is linked to tourism. So they now are within this project, they are specializing themselves in bioeconomy approaches and low-carbon economies to improve ecotourism. So they want to shift their traditional tourism to a more ecological, sound type of tourism. That is also very important, experiential ecotourism. So they want to preserve their ecosystems, their landscape, but also preserving their wild ecosystems. Now the tourism going to forest, to the landscape, wants emotions, wants to experience wild landscapes, wild ecosystems, and this is a very important component. There is a huge movement in Europe that is now moving. It's called Rewilding Europe. There is a huge movement in asking for at least a small percentage of our landscape to be kept as wild ecosystems, where people can go and experience a wilder nature. So this is what they are doing. They are developing a lot of biotechnologies and also a lot of approach to make their tourism more green. So this is just to conclude and show me my role in this project, because as a forest ecologist I've been involved in this year in this inscription to UNESCO World Heritage Site to this network of ancient and primeval beech forests of Carpathians and other regions of Europe. I've been part of this group with other researchers, technicians, and UNESCO delegates that has led to this inscription. It is very important because it's a network of natural forests it is shared between 12 different European countries and 78 beech forests in all Europe. So it's a very important network for us, because within these networks there are islands like this close to Viterbo, where I live, of remnants of natural forest, highly natural forest. And this is very important because for tourism, because if you see the location of Viterbo here, we are amid Rome here and Tuscany. So it's an area, small area, but with a huge potential for tourism. Within these islands also is very important because this network of 78 beech forests, it's connecting all Europe. So there is people moving from one place to the other in Europe, visiting all these. It's in a transnational serial site. All these sites are linked. And also linking very different environments. You see from the Gargano National Park on Mediterranean Sea, beech forest, from the Baltic Sea in northern Germany or Poland, so very different environments. And these environments are connected by many important routes, like, for example, spiritual routes, like the Via Francigena, connecting England, Canterbury to Rome, or the route of Saint Michael from Mount Saint Michel to the Gargano, to South Italy. So this network has great potential to be developed in connection to many existent spiritual roots and movement. So I close because just to show you some picture of why these sites are important and connected. Very natural site, beautiful landscape, wild forest with trees are dying, natural cycles, flowers, and also great potentials connected to the scientific and environmental education connected to this area. Many schools, many people is going there, and there is a potentiality. For example, we have developed some educational trails within this. So also to develop educational trails within this network of sites. So thanks a lot, and there is of course a lot of perspective when tourism and circular economy cooperate together with nature conservation. So thanks a lot.